temple was relocated. So this is not the original island. They had to relocate the temple because after building the old dam that was just crossed 1902, that was built by the British, the area behind the dam was flooded. So they just built them, and they had to stop for some reason, and they were never finished. And this gave us an idea about the technique of building and carving as well. So they built first, and then they carve, and once they carve, they start painting the walls. But remember, this was flooded for 70 years, so none of the original colors is still standing up till now. Christianity came to Egypt in 660 AD, and by the 2nd century, most people start to convert to be Christian. By the 4th century AD, so 300 something, Egypt became a Christian state. Let me tell you that the temple of Isis was the last ancient Egyptian temple to be shut. When Egypt converted from being or believing in ancient Egyptian religion to being a Christian country.
A mere 2,500-year-old temple, which is nothing compared to the ones that we've seen in other locations that are double that age. This was actually the Ptolemaic family. Those are the Greeks who came after Alexander the Great, and they ruled Egypt. That's who you know best, which is Cleopatra, who was not actually native Egyptian, but in fact she was Greek. So these are Greeks who are representing themselves as traditional Egyptian gods.
With 2 horns inserted between them, the solar disk, quite similar to Hathor. But the difference between Hathor, the cow goddess, and Isis, the goddess of magic, is that on top of the solar disk, on top of the circle, you see the throne. The throne. If you look at this lady here, a lady with 2 horns, between them the solar disk, and on top of the solar disk, there's something that looks like a chair, a throne. That's Isis. Everyday rituals that used to take place inside the sanctuary. Isis here represented as a lady with 2 wings, and she is hugging, she's embracing her husband, God Osiris, the god of the afterlife, the first one of all the gods that was mummified. And she's breastfeeding the king, and the king is represented with a side lock, which means that he is a baby. And some of the ladies that had over the years had problems giving birth, and they were quite superstitious. They used to come and touch the face of Isis, okay, to help them and give them blessing and help them to have kids in the future.
So if you're wondering where the original temple of Isis was, well, it's right behind me. Do you see right there those little sticks sticking out of the water? That island is now under the Nile, so that's why they moved it. If you ever come to Aswan, the Temple of Isis, I think is one of my very favorite temples in all of Egypt, but especially because it's one of the very few places you can see Cleopatra, the one that we've all heard about in all of our histories and stories. So it's a fun thing to come and see. So thanks for joining me and Hoda for another adventure in Egypt. We'll see you tomorrow.